Welcome to Mindboks, a platform for renewed imagination. Today's explainer is a really fascinating journey into the architecture of our own thinking. We're drawing directly from the insights of G.I., founder of the Growth Circle, who lays out an absolute masterclass on equipping our minds with powerful tools against chaos. We constantly face complex decisions, and without the right cognitive toolbox, entropy just takes over and our potential decays. So we're going to learn exactly how to get our minds into phenomenal shape.
Okay, let's dive into this roadmap. GI outlines 6 actionable concepts for mastering our mental environment. Frameworks versus models, the circle of competence, the power of inversion, Hanlon's razor, the magic of compounding, and finally, the seed framework. Let's get right to it.
Tool number 1, frameworks versus mental models. So we have 2 incredibly useful, but actually very different ways to process the world around us. As GI points out, a framework is designed for structured step-by-step action. Think of a surgeon following a strict checklist right before an operation. It's super practical and highly domain-specific. But on the other hand, mental models act more like colored glasses that tint and clarify how you perceive reality itself. They are abstract, highly transferable lenses that you can use to interpret the world across literally any domain, from medicine all the way to your marriage.
Moving on to tool number 2, the circle of competence.
This concept is all about recognizing the exact, honest boundaries of your knowledge. Finding your true advantage means knowing what you actually know and, just as importantly, what you don't. GI breaks down true competence into some pretty clear criteria. First off, you have to know exactly what you don't know within a field. Second, you can accurately define a problem even when the surface symptoms are totally misleading. Third, you understand it so deeply that you can explain it to a 5-year-old. And fourth, you can effortlessly anticipate counterarguments. The very moment you step outside this circle of true mastery, your advantage drops drastically.
To put that into perspective, legendary investor Charlie Munger perfectly highlights the intense rigor and humility required to truly hold an opinion within your circle of competence. Basically, if you can't argue the opposing side better than your opponent can, you aren't operating inside your circle. Practicing this level of intellectual honesty is exactly how you build unshakable confidence in the things you actually do know.
Tool number 3, the power of inversion.
Inversion is a mental model that flips problem-solving entirely upside down. Take a look at this really jarring question GI poses. Instead of asking how to succeed in a relationship, you ask yourself how to guarantee failure. What is the surest way to ruin a marriage? If you actually list out the failure points, things like unnecessary third-party involvement, constant ungratefulness, nagging, or self-centeredness, it suddenly becomes vastly easier to know exactly what everyday actions you must absolutely avoid.
The core philosophy of inversion is remarkably simple. Avoiding stupidity is much easier than seeking brilliance. You're often going to reach your goals a lot faster, simply by identifying standard ways of failing and steadfastly avoiding them. By actively not doing the things that guarantee disaster, you naturally align yourself with a really prosperous path.
Next up, tool number 4, Hanlon's razor. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how much mental energy it can save you. Hanlon's razor offers a profound shift in perspective. GI explains that true malice requires massive effort, planning, and intentionality. On the flip side, laziness, ignorance, or simple mistakes require almost zero energy, and they are incredibly common. So when someone cuts you off in traffic or forgets something important, always try to assume positive intent first. Assuming incompetence over malice will literally save you from a world of paranoia and save your relationships.
But you might be wondering, what if someone keeps repeating a frustrating habit even after you've pointed it out? Are they being malicious then? Well, GI makes a fantastic point here. Realization does not equal competence. Just because someone realizes they are doing something wrong doesn't mean they've mastered the ability to stop doing it. It is often a stubborn lack of mastery rather than a malicious intent to ignore or hurt you.
Let's transition to tool number 5, the magic of compounding. We usually reserve the idea of compounding for finance, right? But GI powerfully applies it to our personal growth, habits, and relationships. If we walk through this data visually, contrasting simple and compound efforts, they look nearly identical around year 5. You probably won't see the payoff of your extra work right away, but look what happens when you stay consistent. By year 15, there is a massive clear separation, and by year 25, the compounding effect results in a massive 10x transformation compared to just simple, inconsistent effort. The formula here is crystal clear. Consistency plus time equals magic.
Whether that's showing patience and tolerance in a marriage over decades, or steadily acquiring specialized knowledge, playing the long game is the true secret to monumental success. You are essentially planting trees today that will yield generational results.
And that brings us to tool number 6, the seed framework. This is really the ultimate master blueprint of this explainer, a deeply foundational philosophy unique to GI. He maps out the architecture of our lives in 4 profound steps. Step 1 is the environment. This is your mind or your heart. Step 2 is the input, the seeds, which are the words you listen to or the actions done to you. Now, every single seed that gets planted and accepted in the soil of your mind inevitably grows into, step 3, a belief system or a tree. And finally, that tree produces, step 4, action, which is the fruit.
3 strict laws govern this framework. First, the law of production dictates that your mind will automatically grow whatever is planted in it. It doesn't filter, it just produces. Second, the law of consequence means your actions beget more actions of the exact same kind. And third, the law of inheritance shows that these beliefs and consequences are ultimately passed down. You are constantly producing outcomes, and whatever is produced literally becomes the legacy you leave behind.
Because of these strict laws, GI delivers this incredibly powerful warning. Never become the production of a negative consequence. Think about it. If someone hurts you and you take that seed of offense, allow it to be planted in your mind, and you become bitter or mean to others, you are simply living your life as a consequence of someone else's malice or incompetence. You absolutely have to guard your reactions fiercely to ensure you are the author of your own actions, not just a reaction to someone else's. So, how do we apply all of this mental architecture to our everyday lives? GI's final point stresses that knowledge is only truly useful when it transforms your daily behavior. You have to adjust your behavior to match your newfound understanding. Taking action on what you've learned is, honestly, the highest form of gratitude you can show for acquiring that knowledge. To continue equipping your mind and to dive even deeper into these transformative models, we welcome you to join the Growth Circle through Conquering Degrees by following our Instagram handle @allgrowthcircle and link in bio. Thank you for exploring this with us. I'll leave you with this one provocative question to ponder. What seed will you plant in your mind today?